you think of anything else that I haven't shown on the forum. So.
Yeah, that looks good to me.
Looks good. So yeah, I had one more slide. I won't go into it. So if you want to hear more about serverless and just cloud stuff in general, come and follow us on Medium at read.cloud. We are currently going to be sort of posting more and more stuff because we've got someone kind of in charge of that now. So I've actually got a couple of posts coming up on this very thing, the forums. It'll be a little bit more detailed, some of the specifics. So check us out there. Again, just a reminder.
There's a new section on Alexa as well in there. So we've got Alexa champions around the world posting specific Alexa, and they're pretty technical articles, how to build Alexa skills and some of the things you can do. So if you're into Amazon Echo and Alexa, it's definitely worth a look. It's pretty
good.
Got
a serverless section.
There's a serverless section.
That's the
yeah. Is it a secret, or can you post a little bit more detail around how you organise the index and what types you've got?
Yeah.
I'm happy to take questions as well. So
yeah, we should do an in-depth blog post on Algolia.
Yeah, I might just finish up the last couple of tabs and then let's have some questions. So, yes, another reminder, serverless file in Austin. It's going to be really awesome.
Wow. You're doing all the plugs.
I want brownie points and feet because I want him to let me talk there. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. We have a really awesome venue. It's like a theatre. It's really cool. And that's not what I want. So yeah, I think that's it for my stuff. Yeah, so any other question?
I was just wondering, what in your post, can you describe like the index structure and how? Or is that a bit of a secret? Are you driving everything like from the one index with multiple types? Or?
Oh, I'll show you in Algolia. I'll build one step further. I'll show you that. I hope this doesn't show you. I just wasn't sure if it like typed the key and then did the password characters or like. You have to be too careful, right? Yeah, so this is Algolia's dashboard. So as you can see, like lots of cool stuff. You're going to tell me to stop?
No, it's fine. Okay. I'll just listen to myself.
Where's my mouse? So here's our show you staging. Yeah. So staging has a lot of, all the environments have quite a few indexes. Because we don't actually use Algolia just for drones. We've actually been using Algolia quite a bit across the whole school. For courses and for a lot of different things. So we're going to front. So that's sort of these ones on the side are the ones that I've set up as ones that I want to classify. So like for example, if I want to see everything that's an answer, I can, like if I was doing that by code, I would just set it in code, but that's essentially what you can do there. So same thing, I can get the specific authors threads as well. There's actually a lot of things that we classify, whether a question's been answered or not. The room that it's in is actually limited to a room already. Did you want to see like index settings or things like that? Like what?
I was just in general interested because you mentioned before that it was all kind of, yeah, it doesn't matter. We can have a chat after.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
If you click on the VSN one, the little pins on the map on the left.
This one?
Yeah. I think that's cool because that's where you can see the distributed search network. And you just choose your locations for your search CDN.
How do you do all how do you prevent yourself from being scraped? So how does the web page authenticate itself or get authorization to do the query in that environment?
We use like Algolia tokens and stuff like that.
So you can generate tokens that grant users access to specific search indexes or parts of search indexes, and you can have a Lambda function generate those.
Are they time limited?
Authenticated. Yeah, can't remember off the top of my head. All of ours is public because all of our information is public. So it hasn't been an issue for us yet, but we have considered putting all our user information into search so that we can search it quickly. Not all of anything that's non-private, but if we do that, we're going to be very careful because even if it's not private, even if it's public information like people's user profiles, we don't really want our competitors jumping on and just downloading our entire database of users. You know,
Really
even just their
quickly.
public information. In 20 minutes.
How fast I can steal your users.
So they have this whole, yeah, they have this whole search index. It's like you can generate these API keys for, and you can lock them down to very specific things. And we would have to have our Lambda functions generate those in an authenticated manner once we trust the user, generate it for them. But I don't know how time limited you can make them. I haven't looked into it yet. Cool.
Yeah, so, are there any other questions related to Algolia?
Any particular issues in implementation or lessons learned? Or
Lots of lessons learned in the Lambda side of things. So, yeah, like I spoke about how we were trying to do sort of like 2 or 3 Lambdas in a row and that kind of stuff, and we just went back to doing single Lambda functions. Can I get hands up, who uses Lambda? And do you mostly using Node? Who uses Node? No. Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I learned personally, because we started, so Node 4.3.2, which is I think the latest version of Node you can use in Lambda, actually has a lot of ES6 features already available in it. So we started playing around with using ES6 classes and then using you guys know the library Bluebird? Bluebird Promises. So Bluebird Promises has a coroutines function in it, and for those that don't know what that does, so you can actually have there's an ES6 feature which is generator functions. That actually simplified the flow of our code a lot because instead of having like promises .then, and having promises everywhere, we ended up just doing essentially what is an async await in C#. So you just yield certain things, and it brings your programming flow back to a very linear sort of structure.
So it just reads down the page like
reads down the
traditional non-async.
Yeah, and it's actually a lot easier to read and a lot easier to sort of follow. So I mean, if you want, if you come like to me afterwards, I'll show you some code, but I don't want to put it on the screen just so you might find bugs and that's really bad. Yeah. So that was something that personally I learned, and I think a couple of the guys in the team have sort of started kind of looking into that as well. We're pretty free in terms of like what we what sort of things what do you call it, like conventions we use. Like actually, one thing that we've learned, this is not specific to forums, but we started with this idea that we wanted to have like sort of like not microservices, but services for each of our sections of the website. So we'd have like a forum service, which would be its own repository and have its own Lambda sort of project or service framework project. And we started by doing that, but it actually became a real nightmare to manage all these repositories. And obviously one version of the forums is only going to work with a certain version of some other project, right? So we just brought them actually all back into the same project, and we still split them up into those separate separate services, but they're just in some folders. So I think one thing definitely that we've learned is that like splitting it up that way does work quite nicely because we don't step on each other's toes all the time. We're not all working in the same serverless framework project all the time, and generally we can cut up our work a lot nicer. So the other sort of part of that is that we kind of have deviated a tiny bit on how we do things, but we can bring that back pretty easily. We do have discussions about it, so it's not like we're completely anarchy.
Refactor March. March is refactor.
Yeah, I think one thing with serverless is that you have to be prepared to always refactor. If we had step functions, we could have done like multiple Lambda functions running after each other to actually orchestrate that. But it wasn't until we went to reinvent that once that was announced. So that every few months, Amazon launched something that just puts everything up in the air again. So that's not that we hate it. It's just that it's annoying. Yeah.
Just
a very quick serverless framework question. How do you guys feel about with version 1.6.0 and breaking away from Semver?
That's a question I can't answer. Because I'm not using version.
Yeah, so I'm very much there with you, right?
Yeah, I
Don't mention
So you know-
Wikipedia in there where it starts swearing at you. It
So-
just broke his entire system.
They've released a lot of versions. I don't know if it's okay to say this, but I'm still on a relatively earlier 1.x version.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know specifically about that, but I have found that they are sort of innovating so quickly that I'm having to sort of stop and actually
I think there's innovating is one word. Innovating is one word, but I think the reality of it is for anybody who's actually trying to start building their own tooling around the framework, right? Serverless framework, what it's providing for you is an excellent way to be able to manage the deployment of your functions, right? To have a maintainable way of managing these projects.
Yeah.
But the issue comes when you want to start building your own tooling with that behind it, managing the deployments, right? What's actually changing? Why are we getting into a situation where it's actually, breaking changes with any release? That's not a good situation to be in if you're trying to build your own tooling.
It's certainly not, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm defending them, but it is an early days sort of technology, and this is so normal.
To be fair, right? They've openly acknowledged this, and I know this is more of a serverless framework thing that we could be taken offline to serverless framework office hours or whatever. But I think it's important that people are aware of it. It's been very closely, mapping back to AWS and back to Austin himself. The guy behind the original version of the framework has openly acknowledged it too. It's not been so much serverless framework as much as it has been the AWS framework.
Yes.
So plugins providing the ability for people to be able to work with other providers down the line, etc. But they are very, very different. And before, we've got the serverless Slack channel. People have been saying the same sort of things. It just feels like some of that stuff's a little while away. And to have this kind of regular breaking change, it doesn't feel so much like innovation, right? It just feels like it's unstable.
It's very hard. There's been a lot of small things that they've changed that have sort of disrupted us, and that's, I guess it's been a bit of an annoyance. There was some changes to, I can't remember what they call it, Lambda proxies, I think it was.
Lambda proxy integration.
Yeah, where they changed that. And then we also wrote a plugin when we were doing the multifunction thing. We actually wrote a plugin that was shipping all our logs to Sumo Logic so that we could do correlation and deep tracking. And we'd actually, as part of that, we'd done the creation of log groups in CloudWatch, and then they went and added the log group creation feature to the serverless framework. So we had to delete our log groups and add that instead, and change our plugin. But I don't know. We're dealing with it okay, and we're not that big a team, but we are pretty open to stopping and changing everything. The amount of times we've done that this year is amazing.
The way I'm feeling about it is that right now I'm more inclined to see if there are any issues with 1.6.0 and possibly just sit there for quite a while until we see what direction it's going in from there. But reasonably, if you're able, it's fine for being able to do the initial stack creation, which let's face it, is just an S3 bucket, right? And then on top of that, the updating templates and so forth. So, what do you really need it to do beyond that right now? I suppose that's a point where you can lock it down.
That's certainly true. We use it very much in that way, I guess. There are some features that we use quite heavily, but funnily enough, a lot of our project is kind of pieced together using shell scripts. So
because we manage a lot outside.
We manage a lot outside.
Serverless framework.
So we use Travis for all that. We have all this custom code to essentially deal with different environments. Just being able to. This was a pre-Lambda environment variables thing. We had all this infrastructure in our DevOps process to, encrypt them, decrypt them on the CI environment, pick the right ones, put them in the right locations, package it up, all that kind of stuff. And, we spent time on that, and then the next month we went to reinvent, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to have Lambda, environment variables." It's like, but I don't think it stopped us from sort of progressing either way. So I agree that it does at some point have to sort of stabilize because people do have to be able to run it, do their jobs, and not everyone can be constantly changing their own code to sort of satisfy the framework's code. That's just a reality. So, but it'll stabilize, I think, eventually. It's just
Has anybody started looking at AWS SAM and stuff like that?
I was going to ask you that question. I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Have you?
Has anyone tried SAM?
Has anyone tried SAM?
I haven't.
Yes, we have one person there. Any impressions?
Yeah, we tried some. Actually, we are at the early stage to try to use Lambda service for the production, and especially for the checkout services. And we compare the service framework with the SAM. So personally, I feel like the SAM comes from the service framework. So it's they lack function, like you can invoke particular function in the SAM. But the good thing for the SAM is it's a DNS support, because SAM is you can use automation.
Yeah.
Actually, it's native automation from the AWS, and if you want to switch some non-33 or DNS service, it will be easier than the service framework.
Yeah, it's actually quite amazing to see the difference between SAM and the equivalent syntax
That's the
generated.
environment management. I would definitely say service framework. If you want to use any your serverless YAML file environment, or the terminal input environment, or the reference to the file environment, I would definitely say service framework. But at the end, we choose to use a service framework instead of a SAM. So at the moment, I'm doing something is because we got something. We can't use the service script like serverless deploy.
Yeah.
So because we need to do some enterprise restriction. So at the moment, I try to build some bash script. Pretty much as I try to, but I combine the serverless command line into the bash script. Actually, when the user try to do something, you run your bash script from your terminal. The developer want to deploy, you want to test it, you run your bash script. But the bash script will deploy. The bash script will verify your credentials, verify your AD directories or something others. And then at the end of this script, you will just run the service to do the deploy.
If I could just throw one thing in, I'm from AWS, by the way. SAM is version 1, very early, and just like serverless, it will evolve. And it's been inspired by the feedback we hear from customers. So the SAM framework, or the SAM layer, is a transform for CloudFormation. Okay, so that's actually what it is today. It's a specification. It's not actually a framework. So you can't really compare apples and oranges.
Yeah.
But what I would say though is I do a lot of development in Lambda, and I've come up with my own way of working that doesn't use serverless, and it does use SAM, but and that's because I want to be able to make one line of code change, test it locally, run it locally with a payload just to confirm it works. Then I want to run my unit test, and then I want to deploy it into my test environment, all from the command line. So I use Grunt. I use the Grunt plugins to automate all of that. And then when I check my code in, I've got TeamCity or Code Pipeline or whatever else to push it into a UAT environment, and that's where I use SAM. So I think there's a hybrid approach, and I might be a bit controversial saying this, but I don't think there's one size fits all. And everyone needs to work differently. And you were saying before about coupling, or whoever was saying, coupling your Lambda functions by SNS. I don't entirely agree with that, but I see why that's a problem. If you want to be able to code on a plane, then yes, it's a problem. But are we really living in a world where you need to code on a plane? In other words, there's no Wi-Fi.
Yes,
Yeah.
We do.
So,
Yes.
so apparently one
I don't know if I was clear. The issue for us wasn't coding offline. It's the round trip time of every time you make a code change, not being able to develop and debug locally. It's that round trip to deploy it to the cloud.
Oh, so I take the approach that you can make that one line of code change and run it locally straight away. There's I don't deploy anything to the cloud until I have done my own unit test.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Then
Just for unit test. But the moment you want to,
but that's a unit test. It's an isolated test, not an integration test. You've got to go to the cloud for that. So in a case where I was talking before about why do you have the email send in the same function as the processing. What I've got an SNS topic between the two, and I can guess. Time to stop talking.
Get out.
It's the new alternative to the shepherd's hook.
Awesome.
There we go.
Anyway, it's all fixed. Right.
On you go, mate. You're happy.
Yeah, it's a good.
Valid comments,
So just one ad from me. We're running a lunch and learn tomorrow in Sydney called the Dev Lounge. If you go onto the Google Webs and search for AWS Sydney Dev Lounge, we are way over capacity, but we may have some no-shows. The session that I'm going to run is a 90-minute session on exactly this topic, just by chance, of using grunts for iterative deployment, and SAM, and etc. etc. So you may not get in. I'm just saying. But if you
Oh,
Oh,
come on! You can't jangle that. You sit down.
No, they've changed. You have to look at the website. They changed the venue to get bigger.
It was at Clifton's.
Was it Texas?
Morning one. Yeah, Texas. Yeah.
We were going to do 2 sessions tomorrow.
You're going to have to stay back for 90 minutes at a time.
Anyway, just saying, if there's interest in that, we can always run the session again. So have a look at it, click on register and complain when you can't get in, and then the marketing people will sort it out. But I think it's a really hot topic because there's not one size fits all. And I ran the session in Brisbane on Tuesday, and controversially, some people were saying, yeah, but hang on, it was a great discussion.
Yeah.
So I think it's something we need to discuss because there's no framework that does everything at this stage.
Are you able to add it to your blog posts in the propaganda blog?
Wait a minute, propaganda.
Yeah, Adam, thank you for that. That's a good discussion, and maybe at the next meetup, that's something that we could discuss as well, because obviously there's a lot of passion and a lot of questions about this. Like, we use serverless framework, but there are other frameworks too, like Algolia.js, for example, which is quite good for deployments.
Does anybody use Chef?
Chef?
Chef.
I haven't used it.
SHEP. Anybody tried that?
No. I've tried SAM personally. I found problems with it myself, but it is still new. I totally get that. It's still. But yeah, it's a very interesting discussion, and it would be great maybe as a group to kind of talk about it.
Just one last thing.
Yeah.
You can discuss this on our forum. Find it, it's like //servers.
Yeah, there's a Slack channel as well.
Yeah. But the forums are
better.
Forums, of course.
We are always looking for speakers, so if you'd like to speak, please let us know. We would love you to speak as well. Please thank Dan once again. Thank you. Yeah, please grab a beer or something. Yeah, that's it.
Really good.